Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film. I am your host, as always, Barry, joined by Clayton.
Hello.
And we are here doing more, talking about films, talking about certain films today. So what are we doing today, Clayton?
Oh boy, well, today we're gonna talk about comic book movies. The best and the worst of them. Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a list, that's for sure.
I know, tell me about it. Comic book movies have had a very checkered past, and we're gonna delve into that, Barry. We're gonna delve into why that is. We're gonna delve into some of our favorites, and maybe do a draft on some comic book movies.
Yeah, we seem to like our drafts, so we're kind of sticking with that routine in our podcast at the moment. Every now and again, we do a top 10, but drafts is a bit more fun, you know? You never know what the person's going to pick.
Yeah, it adds a little game to it, the sense something fun for everyone to enjoy. But before we do that, whoa, it's that time of the week, Barry.
News time, everyone.
Newsweek today.
Newsweek today.
Newsweek today.
Find a better title for that.
All right, well, let's kick this off with a new trailer for Expendables 4. You a fan of the Expendables movies?
I am a fan of the Expendables movies. Well, not like a big fan, but they're kind of cringy. That's the reason why I'm a fan of them. Because it's like, every single 80s action star, just shove them into one film. I'm like, yeah, I'm there for it. So
yeah, well, this new one has got 50 Cent in it.
Woo! Yeah, no, I saw it. I was like, he must be the new guy. I suppose 50 Cent, it must be getting, in his... He can apply for his pensioner discount now.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's replacing Schwarzenegger in it, who reportedly stepped out of this one because he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
which is fair.
I mean, I understand. Like, you can definitely tell by the trailer as well. It's such a low budget for it. I'm surprised, honestly, Jason Statham returned for it because he's like leading this trailer. He's gonna be leading that film.
Yeah. Fair. Next story. Rebel Moon. I'm betting you're following the production of this very closely.
Very, very, very closely.
Yes. Did you see we got our new first look at it?
I know. Well, to everyone else, everyone got to see their first look. I've seen first looks for a while. But yes, it is an amazing looking film. I just cannot wait till it actually comes out because the amount of like detail he's putting into this is insane, especially when it just came off from a knockoff version of a Star Wars script Zach wanted to write. So
yeah. Well, did you know that it's actually going to be 2 movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's I'm hoping crazy. Anthony Hopkins is in both of them. I know he's in the first one, so
I'd assume so. It seems okay. So basically, what's happening is Netflix and Zack Snyder have had a bit of a confrontation. He said the script was about 170 pages long, and Netflix weren't too keen on it being over 2 hours. So he's got to have a version of the film that's under 2 hours, which releases near the end of the year. And he's also doing a full, longer, adult, quote-unquote version.
Of course
it's a real
he
quote.
is.
Instead, it's the adult version. Yeah, and that'll come sometime later. We don't know when.
Are we also going to do a black and white version, 4:3, knowing him?
Harry, I hope not. I hope not, because the film looks really colorful and good. And I like it. I like it how it looks.
Oh yeah, it would definitely be like he does it for like all his films. He even did it for Watchmen, like the Watchmen film that came out in cinemas. The theoretical cut still like nearly 3 hours, but the director's cut is like 4 hours long. So
Jesus, no, he tends to do that.
Yeah, that's just him, that's him.
Whatever.
Whatever.
This next story is just a really cool little thing I throw out there as a congratulations. Did you know Jurassic Park is celebrating its 30th anniversary this week?
It's 30th anniversary? Oh my gosh, I feel old. Damn.
Yeah, 1993, the first one came out. Yeah, so 30 years ago, and they're celebrating it. They released like a video featuring some of the casts being like, "Yo, we did it."
Yay! Have they announced a new film or no?
I hope not. No. Thank God.
I have an idea for a new Jurassic Park film. Let me write one for you.
Is it a theme park?
Maybe there might be a theme park. Hear me out.
Jurassic Park, but on a cruise ship. It's like Speed 2.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a T-Rex in the swimming pool.
There's a T-Rex everywhere.
Or
maybe it's the people in the park. Ooh.
Well, next story. Do you know Jared Leto? You a fan of him?
I know a little bit of Jared Leto. Has he done something wacky again, like wearing cat outfits or like sending certain items to certain actors again that he shouldn't be sending?
Barry.
What has he done this time?
He's doing something else wacky.
What is he doing?
He started climbing a hotel in Berlin without a harness. He climbed about 2.5 stories up the side of this like stone-walled hotel in Berlin for some reason.
Okay.
There's footage of it. It's really funny. He's just kind of climbing around. We don't know.
Climbing. He wanted to be Spider-Man. He obviously saw the new Spider-Man film. Well, no, actually, he listened to our podcast. He listened to the WTF podcast, and then he was like, "I really love that podcast, so I'm going to start climbing like Spider-Man," because he knew Clayton would do that because Clayton is Spider-Man. Everybody,
literally.
There we go. I've let it release now. Everyone knows Clayton Spider-Man.
Multiple journalist websites have been like, we've tried contacting him for a reason and we don't know why.
Look, the reason is he was on drugs. That's simple as that.
It sure looked like it in the video, I will say.
Good old Jared Leto.
Well, now we got some MCU news. Captain America 4 got a title change.
Oh my god! What's it called? What's it called?
It's called Captain America: A Brave New World, rather than Captain America: New World Order, which is what it was originally.
Okay, yep. I was getting those confused around. I was like, okay, cool. It's interesting. I know Harrison Ford's been on set already doing his stuff.
Yes.
I saw that picture, so I was like, "Yay, Harrison Ford!" Being grumpy as ever. So
it looks like it's going to be good. Honestly, if it's just a higher budget version of Falcon and the Winter Soldier with better writing, I'm okay with that. That's pretty much all I want.
Yep.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Cool stuff.
And also in the MCU, Secret Invasion coming out soon. We both saw it.
Yeah, we both saw it.
Special secret clip on a website that you had to chuck a special code in order to watch.
I love it when they did
5 minutes of it?
First 5 minutes of the first episode.
Yes. Oh boy, it looks good.
Yeah, this
I'm excited, Barry.
Potentially might be the best MCU film, and we've only seen 5 minutes of it.
Show, MCU show. Get our credit.
Yeah, show. That's right, show. It's all connected now. It's all connected. It's all you got to watch the shows to watch the movies and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit too much, but this looks good. This looks really good.
Yeah, it comes out. It comes out this month.
Yes, only a couple weeks. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, a couple weeks. We'll be covering it on the show when that comes out.
Yes, we will be.
Moving away from the MCU though, the Super Mario movie directors.
Super Mario.
You still haven't seen that movie.
I have not seen that movie. I have seen basically every single scene through advertising and clips online, but I still have not actually sat down and watched it yet.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They're working on a reboot to the Flintstones.
Oh god damn it.
It's supposedly going to be animated as well. But
it would have to be. It would have to be. I don't want another live-action Flintstones film. I mean, the first one's kind of all right for its goofiness, but then when they did the second one, I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which is that the one with Elvis in it? I don't remember.
That was the one when they go to Vegas.
Stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was weird. The second one was weird.
Yeah.
They're both all pretty weird.
Very weird.
Had John Goodman in it anyway, so
Yeah, he's good. He's good in everything. What else have I got today? Oh, yes. Did you know another movie is in the works? Have you seen probably one of my favorite action movies, Roadhouse?
Are they rebooting Roadhouse?
There's a Roadhouse remake in the works, set to come out this year.
With Jake Gyllenhaal?
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor.
Oh, because I was actually I already knew about this a year ago because I've already seen behind the scenes clips. I've actually seen Jake Gyllenhaal fighting some of his clips in a UFC fighting ring. So
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, bastard, Barry. You're ruining
I
Newsweek.
thought this was old news, man. That was like 2 months ago I saw that.
I don't know, man. I saw it today. Every Newsweek I get on, do my research. It said this story was like a couple days ago.
It's like, oh my God.
Man,
just know that Barry knows everything at every single point at every single time. I am God, essentially.
Oh, okay, Barry. Barry's like the watcher.
I am the watcher.
Well,
I am wise and old. Maybe just not wise.
Before we get into comic books, I have one final story, and it's probably this week's most important. Have you seen the 1971 movie The French Connection?
Yes, I have.
Yes. Are you aware that Disney have, without warning, edited the film to remove instances of a racial slur?
No, I didn't know about this. So what?
Only in certain countries.
Oh, okay. Because I knew, for a couple of their older films that they made themselves, like the original Dumbo and stuff like that, they got rid of certain scenes and certain jokes and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure, like, Gone with the Wind, you just can't watch that anywhere now.
No. Well, it's the same to this. And it's weird because it's not said in like a positive tone. They say it is a way of making you not really like the character. And they just cut the conversation where it's said out. So there's like a scene in the movie that starts halfway through, about 10 minutes in. I have not seen the edited version, but they just did it without warning. People are mad about it.
No, that's understandable, because then that's ruined like the original version of that film for future people to see that haven't seen the film before, you know, and people are just getting basically a different version of the film that has no context to what they're talking about as well.
It's changing art. It's like if you repainted the Mona Lisa. Yeah, I mean, they probably do. They do that with paintings. That's a bit unfair.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised because of all this now and what the Academy is trying to push for and stuff like this. Within the next 10 years, and I hope it never happens, they're probably going to try and like re-edit or just get rid of Schindler's List because of what that movie implies.
I hope not.
Because Schindler's List is one of the best films ever made, and same thing as like a lot of old war films and stuff like that. And this already started like going into all this maybe a few years ago when I know it happened with that Hacksaw Ridge film that Mel Gibson did. Basically, what happened with that film, America, like the government and stuff like that, didn't actually want it out in cinemas and didn't show it in certain cinemas because of the of what it implied. Basically, making the American military to be like assholes, essentially, for not letting this guy in. And and even
move of them.
And basically what happened as well when it came out onto digital, you couldn't actually get it on any digital platform. You actually had to buy a physical copy of it for a while there. Only recently, like the past year now, you can get it digitally. But there was a whole big thing about it because basically the American government was just like, bad film. No, we hate you, Mr. Gibson.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It feels like when you throw politics into art, especially art that was made 40 years ago, 50 years ago, that it kind of throws it off. I mean, The French Connection is definitely a product of its time.
Oh, yeah.
But
a lot of films are
treated that way.
Yep.
It shouldn't be updated because it's like, why? What's the point?
What's
the
movie's
been out for 50 years. If someone's already seen it,
it's
not going to change anything. What?
Yeah.
I don't get it, man.
0 cents. 0 cents.
No. But anyway, let's talk about something else that usually doesn't make sense, Barry. Comic book films.
Oh, comic book films. Wait a minute. There's comic book films? There's films actually based on comic books? Oh my God.
I know. There's more than you think.
There's a lot more than you think. So we are in still the process of finding out what films are coming out, and we didn't have anything for this week's podcast. So we thought, with everything going on, we watched Across the Spider-Verse last week, and there's so many comic book films, so many, that we thought we'll dedicate at least one podcast talking about comic book films. And obviously later on, we'll get into a draft and everything for them. But let's begin from the beginning, Clayton. Oh, back in the day, back in the days. Well, I can tell you right now.
Flashback.
Growing up as a young lad. All right, we won't go back that far. But yes, growing up as a kid, reading comic books and stuff like that. And obviously that would have been around the same time Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and all X-Men started coming out. Like, it was amazing, man. Like, this is definitely the time to be. And then when 2008, when the Iron Man came out and shocked the world and started making the MCU, that's what really hit the comic book fandom into this, like, this multi-billion, tens of $1 billion, $100 billion franchise upon what it is now. And no, honestly, like it's just there's so much to it now. There's so much. It's everywhere you see it, billboards, and oh my gosh, it's spreading. It's spreading like a wildfire. It's like westerns.
I know. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'd say that 2008's Iron Man, for what it's caused, is probably one of the most influential films of movie history.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No other industry has evolved.
Without that film, there would be no MCU. No. There would be no Disney, Marvel.
By that standards, DC wouldn't have done their own thing with that as well. There'd be no DC EU.
Yep.
There would probably be way less comic book things than there are now, because it seems like everyone wants to make a superhero movie these days, Barry. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. There's obviously, you don't just have Marvel and DC, because that's the thing. Marvel and DC have been around for quite a long time. Obviously, DC longer than Marvel. But even all between all that, there's other comic book companies that have had their films made, had their books made into comic books. So I know you got like Sin City and stuff like that are all these little strange offshoot companies that made their own comics and stuff like that for it. But Clayton, did you know when the first comic book film ever came out?
The first comic book film?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I'm guessing it was the 40s.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, 1941, in the form of The Adventures of Captain Marvel, was the first ever superhero comic book movie ever made. Shazam. Yeah, the original Shazam.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, when he was back called Captain Marvel, I suppose.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. I mean, considering I knew that throughout the 40s they did a bunch of serials, TV serials. Like Batman had one, Captain America had one, Superman was getting stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm surprised that it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it was a 12-chapter serial thing following the adventures of Captain Marvel, based on the Fawcett comics. So yeah, even this would have been before DC actually brought the rights to Captain Marvel still.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he was something else then. I can't remember, but yeah, he was something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, very comic book history is a long and very windy road. And I wanted to ask you this question. What was your introduction to comic books?
Ooh, that's actually a good question there. I would say it would have had to be started with Spider-Man. The first ever comic book that I remember getting, it was like for a birthday present or something like that, was because at that time, Spider-Man 1 had just come out. Or maybe like a year after or something like that. And then I was just like so fascinated with Spider-Man because it was literally everywhere. Like I was watching the 90s animated TV show like constantly all the time. Like I had the VHSs of it. And so I was like trying to get all the merchandise, everything I could. And then, yes, someone gifted me. I can't honestly remember who it was. And I don't think I have the original comic book anymore. But yeah, it was like a early 2000s issue of Spider-Man.
Wow.
A comic. I honestly can't remember, but I know it was a Spider-Man comic. And basically from there, that's when it rolled on. And then obviously a few more years later, someone accidentally gave me a Deadpool comic thinking it was Spider-Man, and that started my Deadpool addiction. And now I'm pretty sure I am got 65% of all the Deadpool comics ever issued.
Jesus Christ,
and I literally have thousands of comic books, thousands.
Wow.
Like I've got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. That's the thing. There's just so much to it. There's so many to them, and that's DC anyway, which I'm more favorite in the comics. Anyway, like they have a lot of history and stuff like that. They've been around for a very long time. So, and that's the thing. They're just like issues. They're still making comics to this very day still. Where like a few years ago, before the big like fandom of all the comic book craze movies and stuff like that, like the comic book industry was dying, and still to an extent still kind of is. It's not as big as it used to be. It's more just like movies and TV shows. But that's the thing. It's definitely resurfaced a lot more. And it's, getting involved with everything they make now, from TV shows to movies. And then you got James Gunn. That's basically like, all right, we're having problems with writers for my new DC studios and that. I'll just get the people that made the comic books to write for me. Yeah.
I mean, that's very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as for me, I think the first ever comic that I read was The Phantom.
The Phantom?
Really going back.
Yeah.
It was like an old issue of The Phantom that I picked up, and I love The Phantom. I have like a couple of the annuals from like the 40s and 50s, and I've read the hell out of them. And then I think I picked up I picked up Batman's Hush. The Hush storyline.
Yes. Hush is amazing.
Batman.
Yes, that is such a great start. Done by Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it was the start of
drawn by Jim Lee, should I say?
It was the start of the DC graphic novel collection that came out probably 10, maybe 15 years ago. When I started getting that, I have all 70 of them.
Damn,
they all make a big picture. I started off with Hush. It was so cool. And I didn't actually start reading Marvel until probably after that.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird because I grew up with the Spider-Man movies and the DC comics, and I was like going back and forth with them, and I'd never read a Spider-Man comic until maybe 5-6 years ago. And I've only really just started getting into Marvel. But yeah, it was The Phantom, then it was Batman, and then it was The Flash. Man, I love The Flash. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. No, The Flash has got some pretty good comics. But what I also have quite a big collection of as well is Green Lantern comics. Yeah, I've got like probably close to like 100 just of Green Lantern. Actually, like in my office, and you can't really see it from here, but basically I'll describe it to the audience as well. What I have when you first walk in, there's like just a little bit of the wall underneath the like light switch. There's basically 2 comics that I have framed. These 2 comics are basically like my favorite type thing, and they're like original edition as well. So I paid a shit ton of money to get these. So these are like framed and everything. So what I have is a 1998 annual starring Deadpool and Death, which was a very hard comic to find the original edition of. So yeah, that was 98 because I was born in 98. So I was like, I have to get like one of the biggest comics of that year, well, Deadpool comic anyway. And then what I also have is the original edition of Emerald Twilight #2 of Green Lantern, which took me forever and years to find. So many people, I've got like 5 different versions of Emerald Twilight, because all 5 of those different versions I got before weren't the actual original editions.
Jesus, Barry. Oh my God.
So now I have framed is an original edition of Emerald Twilight that would have come back out in the year that it was first originally released. And yes, on that very like thin paper as well that they used back then. So
that's so cool. I've read a couple Green Lantern ones. He was never really my favorite. But, you know, I respect it. It seems like we're both qualified to be talking comic book movies.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think we know what we're talking about. Possibly, maybe,
maybe. We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see the response after this podcast gets released.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, comic books.
Comic books. So many. Oh man. So many.
So many. I think it's time we should get into maybe a little draft. What do you think, Barry?
Yeah. Well, we're not here talking about just comics. We're not WTC. We talk comics. We're WTF. We talk film. So we're going to have to obviously relate it to comic book films, which is what we're all about because, filming, that's in our title. It's what we're learning. It's what we're doing. We're trying to be filmmakers ourselves, and hopefully one day we get to make a film based on comics. That would be something. Ooh. That would be pretty cool. I already have...
You can make a Green Lantern one?
I would do another character, but we won't get into this today.
Oh, a little Deadpool one? Is that what you...
Nope.
No.
Okay, I would do Mr. Miracle.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Based on Zach King's comic book run that he did. I think it's Zach King's. Oh, was it Tom King? I think it might have been Tom King.
Mr. Miracle? I just remember him showing up in like Justice League comics and kind of just being weird.
Yeah, if there's a comic that I recommend to anyone is Mr. Miracle by Tom King. And read it and then do some research what it actually was meant to represent behind the scenes and stuff like that of the character. It is wacky in its own cool kind of way, and it is very bleak and depressing most of the time.
Oh wow!
And for a comic, I never it was like the first time like I was just like, oh shit type thing. Like I know like with a lot of Batman comics and like Old Man Logan, like they try to get real gritty with type of things, but it wasn't like the way they wrote this. Well, Tom King wrote this was just like, damn, like this is a superhero going through some like real world shit, it was just like, oh damn. And then there's obviously like the wackiness behind it because it still is a comic book after all. And yeah, definitely that is my number one recommendation for anyone that wants to get into comics, and especially more adult comic. Go straight to that. Yeah, Mr. Miracle by Tom King, and then do research about it, about what it was actually meant to be based upon, the inspiration behind it, and it's even more like kind of depressing. So
wow,
yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That is.
I mean,
it's to do with Jack Kirby, if you know who Jack Kirby is.
Oh, I know Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep.
If I had to pick a comic book to turn into a movie and make a movie out of a comic book, I would do a Green Arrow movie.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a somewhat good TV show. I mean, Stephen Amell played as a good Green Arrow. Every time like I saw it, I was just like, he's pretty good. I really would love, and I hope James Gunn does this with the DC, whatever it's called now.
Who knows?
Yeah. I really hope we actually just do see a decent like Green Arrow and those types of characters coming forth into what he's trying to create. And by the sounds of it, there is going to be a lot of that because like one of his first movies is going to be, well, straight after the new Superman is like kind of a ragtag group. I forgot what they're called again now.
Creature Commandos.
That's it. That's the ones.
Yeah. It's a Suicide Squad, but with werewolves and Frankenstein
and yeah. So I'm looking forward to what James Gunn has planned for DC now. Being in charge and everything like that, like a filmmaker being in charge of an entire studio, like that's just like it would be a dream for anyone, really.
Very crazy. Yeah. But before let's go. Speaking of dreams, why don't we craft our top 10 draft pick list of comic book movies, Mr. Barry?
Of comic book films? Oh yes, our good old draft pick. Do you want to remind the audience, Clayton, how a draft pick works for today?
Of course, Barry. So basically, me and you are going to go head to head, back and forth, front to back, picking movies one after another until we have our list of 10 movies each, and we're going to compete to see who has the best list, and whoever loses is getting kicked off the podcast or something.
Gets shunned. You have been removed from what's the Survivor thing? What are they doing, Survivor? You have been voted out, or something like that. You are no longer part of the
Please
tribe.
Yeah, that's it. I hate Survivor. Oh, okay. Well, Barry, why don't you pick a number between 1 or 2?
I shall pick the number 2.
Oh, Barry's going first.
Hey,
Whoa.
look
So
at
basically,
me.
the rules for this is it's any feature film based off of anything comic book related. Very broad.
Oh, I thought we were
results.
going like real specific, but that's all right.
What do you mean real specific? We said comic book movies. That's not specific
that's fine.
at all.
That's fine.
Look, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, mine are still related to comics. It's fine. So my number 1 pick, and I'm going to take it just before you do because I'm probably gonna watch it tonight again because I just feel like watching it again. I talked about it last week on the podcast or the week before. We did our top 10 when we did the We Talk Us. It was basically in my top 3. So my number 1 pick for today is going to be Logan.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I absolutely, like I said, in the We Talk Us podcast, I adore that film. I love every single minute of it. I love the acting. And that is why it's going to be my number 1 pick before you take it from me.
I hate to break it to you, Barry. I wasn't going to pick Logan.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, it wasn't one that I put on my list. I got a bunch of Marvel ones, but I didn't put that one on there. Oh, man, now you're throwing it at me because it's like I've got a lot of movies. I don't really know where to start it off.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to pick a lesser known one. This is a movie not a lot of people have seen from 2012, starring Carl Urban. It's called Dread.
You goddamn bastard. You goddamn bastard.
I love this movie. This is such a good movie.
That was going to be my next pick. My next pick.
I got you good. It's so much better. You can pick the Sylvester Stallone one.
No. Carl Urban's the only Dread. That is a phenomenal film. I remember going to see that in 3D.
Oh boy.
At the cinemas.
Oh, that would look so cool. Because it looks like it's amazing. 3D.
Yeah. Well, it was because I was like the 3D craze back in 2012.
Yeah.
And I remember what I would have been 14 in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, 14, 15. I would have been like, damn, boy. Like, I just remember that the whole drug scenes and everything like that and the whole bullets and just all the action and the violence. And it was amazing. It still is amazing.
It is amazing. It's a really good movie.
A lot of people
haven't seen Dread and
haven't seen it, and a lot of people are just like, when I
if you're a fan of stuff like RoboCop, that kind of vibe,
Yep.
You'll love this movie. So yeah,
but it's very high octane and a lot of drugs. That's for sure.
So good.
Well, since you've taken my number 2, I was very surprised you picked that. I am going to throw something a little bit older that not too many might know about. That's actually based on a comic book. It's called The Road to Perdition.
With
starring Tom Hanks and Jude Law, where Jude Law plays the bad guy in it, hunting down Tom Hanks. For years, I remember watching this film and be like, oh yeah, that's actually a really good film. Wasn't until like 10 years later I actually found out it's based upon a comic. And I was like, damn, yeah, that's impressive. So it's actually one of the comics I wouldn't mind getting to add to my collection. So it would be.
It does look cool. I found out today that movie was based on a comic when I was doing my research for the list. I was like, what? That was a cool movie. There's no way. And like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Little graphic novel series.
Yeah. Sure. No, it's very, very good.
Very cool gangster movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's probably the reason why I love it.
Oh, Barry, you've got 2 good ones.
I do.
Oh,
because you stole my good one.
Well, I'll make up for it, Barry. I'm gonna pick an even better movie. This is a great movie.
A great movie?
I'm picking the first ever feature film done by Marvel. This was produced by George Lucas in the year 1986.
Oh.
I'm picking Howard the Duck.
You're picking Howard the Duck? Yay! Howard the Duck gets mentioned. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I have a Howard the Duck comic, so I'm happy.
It's such a bad movie, but I love it.
It's a bad movie.
So stupid.
And he's
so stupid.
Wife or whatever. It's been years since I've seen it.
I don't know.
The goddamn duck that has tits, all right?
Yeah. It's weird. But
it is weird.
It's weird that it's the first ever Marvel movie.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like, why would you pick Howard the Duck?
Why hasn't there been a sequel? You know? What's going on, Disney?
He appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's all I need.
I want his own film again, you know? Howard the Duck Space Adventures.
Secret Wars? Howard the Duck kills Kang?
Well, no, he was actually, he was in Guardians, but he also was in Endgame. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Back to me. Ooh, well, we're going Marvel. Well, you did anyway. I might change it up a little bit. Well, talking about Rebel Moon and another film that Zack Snyder has done. Well, he's done a lot of comic book films, let's be honest. And quite a few of them are on my list. I am going to go with Watchmen. I actually really enjoy Watchmen. It was kind of like one of the first films to me, really, where I could like see the potential of what comic book films could be. And I remember like seeing, because when I came out, I was still like a bit young to be watching it type thing. So I was a bit like, oh, he's got his penis out. It's glowing. But then, because I've got like a collector's edition of it. So it comes with the original Alan Moore comic book. And then like with the theoretical and also the like 5-hour director's cut that he did. And then also the animated side thing that was in the director's cut as a separate thing. And it's really cool. And it's still one of those films where I just like look at it and I prefer the story, what Zach did in that compared to the comic. Because it's a bit of a different story, what he does with the characters and everything like that. And a lot of people kind of didn't like this film. Really? Because of when it came out. Yeah. And it still like is not that highly reviewed, I'm pretty sure. And a lot of people it's not true justice to what Alan Moore wrote. Well, he's like, I did my own style, and the style of it is phenomenal, and it's got great actors in it. And it's just like it's a really grungy type 50s 60s era like superheroes and stuff like that. It's really cool.
It's been on my list for a while. I haven't actually seen it. I've been meaning to see it. And I've been meaning to read the comic.
Cinematography is a masterclass because he basically did the same thing that he did in 300, but like just better. And it's just like the whole overall story for it is just like, it's just really well done. Like even like compared to the comics and stuff like that. So I like it. Cool. I like it a lot.
I'll have to check it out because it's been on my list for ages and I just haven't gotten around to it. But Watchmen. Whoa, boy. Oh, what do I do now?
Ooh.
This is tough because it's like there's a bunch I want. There's a bunch that I should get.
I have like a list of like nearly 100 things. So, I want a lot of things.
Yeah. All right. Well, I picked a Marvel one just then. I'm going to pick a DC movie. I'm going to pick Tim Burton's 1989 Batman.
Yay! Woo! Good old 1989 Batman. What a film.
Oh, man.
Jack Nicholson.
It's still my favorite one.
As the Joker is still phenomenal. Yeah, I would still say that this probably still is my favorite Batman film. Very close would be The Batman.
Yeah, with, probably same here.
Yeah, Pattinson. But it's still such a phenomenal film to go back and watch, and there's the aesthetic to it all and what it looks like, and it's definitely like it's going to be cool when the Flash comes out in a couple weeks. Well, end of this week, I should say.
We get to see it.
We get to see it. Like I'm looking forward to seeing the original Batmobile, and just it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It's such a good movie. The 1989's Batman has the best soundtrack composed by Danny Elfman, the best Batmobile, and the best Joker. It's like Come on, man.
Well, I
It's
wouldn't
such
say
a
best
good
Joker,
movie.
but you know,
I would say best Joker.
I feel
I
like
would say
all
best
the
Joker.
Jokers are just like number one.
Jared Leto.
Well, you see the thing about Jared Leto and what people have seen and
Finding
what I've
Golding.
seen, yeah, because I've seen a different clips of Jared Leto doing very impressive stuff as the Joker character, and a lot of people have never seen that, and I'm very depressed by that. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see that, man. He was just awful to look at in the movie. Anyway,
No, well,
let's throw it back to Barry.
Yeah. Well, going back to me. Fuck it. So
Yeah.
I did DC before. I will go with a Marvel
Yep.
film now.
Whoa.
Or I might go with something a little bit different. What have I got here? Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Talking about Secret Invasion, an upcoming MCU show, and the style that it's going for and everything like that, I am going to pick Captain America, the Winter Soldier. That is still one of my favorite MCU films ever made. Like the whole Cold War, like spy thriller to it all, and everything like that, and the relationship between what they did with Bucky and Cap for it was just like, that was such like a well done comic book film, really. And it was like the fall of Shield as well, because all Shield was corrupt, and then leading into the events until Civil War, which is another phenomenal MCU film.
It's a really good movie.
The Winter Soldier.
It's got probably the best fight scenes in it. I love the choreography.
Oh yeah,
it was so well done. Such a good movie. Wow. Okay, you've got a good list. I think my list is lacking a bit.
Little bit lacking. Little bit lacking.
Little bit. Okay. All right. I picked a DC. I'm gonna go a Marvel.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pick. Ooh, I have to pick it. It's still my favorite MCU film. I'm gonna pick 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Da 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 da. Yeah, no, that is an amazing MCU film.
It's an amazing film, yeah.
It's an amazing film. I actually was watching it yesterday because I got some new fancy sound equipment for my theater setup. So that's what I was doing yesterday. Setting all that up. And the film, that I was testing was an IMAX version of Guardians of the Galaxy.
So good. That would have been awesome.
It was awesome.
Now I want to watch Guardians of the Galaxy again. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's throw it back to you.
Throwing it back to me. Yeah, well, I'm going to go for a little bit of a different one. That's not DC or Marvel.
Uh-oh.
And out of my list of things that we've got, I could go with that one. I could go with that one too. I am going to go with a film that I didn't know was actually a comic until today. And they also made a TV series about it as well, is Snowpiercer, starring Chris Evans. Yes, I did not know that was a comic book.
I did. I knew that. It's a French one.
Yeah. Because that's I haven't watched the TV show, but I know it got cancelled or something. So I don't think they actually finished it. But the movie though, with Chris Evans, when around the same time he was playing Captain America, was just like he did this, and he's just like talking about eating babies and stuff. I'm just like, holy shit, this is a dark film. And then I still love the theory behind this film, and the reason why it got made is apparently Ed Harris's character for it. It's basically a future version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So Charlie ended up becoming
I've heard
Ed Harris's character. And it's like, if that theory's actually right and it's stuff like that, like it's so plausible, all the evidence for it as well. I'm just like, that's an amazing franchise.
I've watched a YouTube theory documentary on it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's wacky. So I love it.
It's such a great movie too. Snowpiercer from Bo Joon-ho.
Yep.
Oh boy, I love that movie.
That is a good movie.
That was on my list. That one was on my list. You stole that one from me.
I stole that one from you.
Yes, you did. All right. Well, I'm going to follow it up with my number 5. I picked a Marvel and I picked a DC. I'm gonna pick something different.
Something different.
Something that I also didn't know was a comic book until recently. And I've only seen the movie recently. It came out in 1994, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, Time Cop.
I knew you would have that on your list. I didn't put that one on my list. I was like, well, Clayton's gonna pick that one, obviously.
Such a good movie.
So when are you gonna do your Time Cop remake?
Oh, I would make the hell out of a Time Cop movie.
I know.
Not exactly a high bar to get over.
No, it is not.
No, I love it. Unironically love that movie.
I haven't actually watched the full movie. I've only watched like bits and pieces of it. I'm gonna have to sit down and actually like fully watch it now because you've been talking about it so much. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a try.
Yeah, he somehow is more robotic than RoboCop. It's kind of a similar movie, but he's less human.
Yeah,
how Jean-Claude Van Damme acts, and it's so
that's Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't think he is a human. He's just like, I speak the English. Yes, choppy chop, kung fu.
Pretty much. That's exactly how he is. That's in this movie. There's a part where his partner dies, and he's just dead faced, and I think a fake tear goes down, but he doesn't move his face at all, and he's just, and then he says like a one-liner. He was like, "I guess I should have seen that coming." Or something like that, and it's like, oh god, this movie. But yeah, that's my number 5.
Nice.
What are you gonna follow that up with, Barry?
I'm gonna follow that up with a classic superhero film, just an absolute banger, and I know it's in James Gunn's top 5 list of comic book films of all time.
Oh, okay.
Is Superman 2 with Christopher Reeve.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Because obviously there's big talks at the moment about the upcoming Superman and the new movie and everything like that. And yeah, basically I've been actually going back and watching the original Christopher Reeve Superman films at the moment. And yeah, it's just one of those films where like it still holds up. Like the acting and everything like that. Obviously, like the visual effects and everything like that are a bit goofy, but it's still like that aspect of Superman. Even though I might prefer Man of Steel a little bit more, just because it's more modern, and I like Zack Snyder's take on how he makes films and stuff like that. But it's still such a phenomenal film. Like I would love to see whoever the new Superman does end up being, and I hope James Gunn does this a little bit too. Like he is somewhat like what Christopher Reeve was, a bit more, you know, that bit more like you just want to give the guy a hug.
He's still my favorite Superman actor. He's portrayed. No one has portrayed. No one's gotten close. He is Superman.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just so good to watch, and it's all of the. I say all of them. The first 2 are really good.
Yes.
Such good, entertaining movies. They hold up well, even in every way except visual effects. But that's to be expected. The first one came out in 1978, so there's that. But yeah, okay. Should I give my number 6 now?
So what's your number 6, Clayton?
Oh, okay. Number 6. It's getting a little harder now.
Yeah, it's narrowing it down.
There's a lot that I want to get. All right, I'm going to get a movie from 2004.
2004. Oh, those were the days.
I know what you're thinking, because you're like, what good superhero movie came out in 2004? Well, it's not a superhero movie, Barry. It's Hellboy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good old Hellboy.
Starring Ron Perlman.
I'm glad one of us said it. I'm glad one of us said it.
I love this movie. I watched this movie heaps of times as a kid. It was one of those that was always on TV, and I'd always watch it because it was so good.
This is going to make me sound really, really older than you. I remember going to see that at cinemas. Yep. It was one of the first films, and because there was an advertisement for what was around the same year. Was there another superhero in 2004 film?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, that's right. There was an advertisement for Spider-Man 2 that had like the trailer for Hellboy. And then after seeing that the Hellboy ad, I was like, I am going to see this. I need to see this film. It looks phenomenal. And then I went with my old man to go and see Hellboy. So yeah,
so good.
It's so good. It
still holds up.
Yeah, just all the really practical effects and everything like that. Even the second one, I still find to be like it's just like it's so cool. It's so cool what Guillermo del Toro made. All his stuff is phenomenal. But yeah, still Hellboy is definitely his standout for me anyway. And Shape of Water, I didn't mind Shape of Water. Shape of Water's cool.
Haven't seen it. It's not Hellboy, so I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's got the same guy that played as the fish guy, plays as another fish guy, so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. He's a fish guy.
He's a fish guy. He likes fish guys.
He's the deep. All right, let's throw it over for number 7, Barry. What's number 7?
My number 7. Well, there is one film that I haven't said yet that is kind of an obligation for me to put onto this list because of my involvement.
Should I write it down right now?
Yeah, we should probably just put that down now, being a 7. Otherwise, a certain someone, if they end up listening to this podcast, might be very unhappy with me. So number 7 for me is going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. Only because I am obligated to say so, even though I did not get any money or anything like that, and it can be a story for another day on the podcast on my involvement with all that.
Whoa, teasing you guys there.
Teasing it all. But yes, I had the fortunate time of being able to be an uncredited associate producer for this film and got to meet some very phenomenal people during it all and talk to them and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's why it's on my list. And it is, I really do love it. I do love the aspect of what Zack Snyder was able to make and release after the disappointment of the Whedon cut, and like the whole what he wanted to do for the DCEU was definitely implemented in this film, and the stories that he had for the future of the DCEU all in his mind was phenomenal, and it's a shame we never got to see it. Hopefully maybe one day he might come back to work with James Gunn for something. But yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Movie was meh.
Yeah.
All right, let's throw my number 7. Okay. You picked Justice League. Okay, I'm going to pick 2012's The Avengers.
Hey, what a film. What a wonderful film.
Compete with your Justice League. I'll grab The Avengers.
Hey, Zack Snyder's Justice League, not Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League. You have to remember that. There's a difference.
Zack Snyder's going to come for me.
No, he'll come for me. I'm the guy that has to emphasize every single time. Anytime someone online says just Justice League, I'm just like, is it Zack Snyder's Justice League? And it's like, yes, okay, sorry, I won't murder. We're fine.
Yeah, well, no, The Avengers is still the best team-up movie that we've gotten.
Yeah.
It's so well done. It holds up really well. The story's really good. Every character in it's likable and amazing, and I could talk about it forever and ever and ever, but Barry, I'm throwing it back to you for your number 8.
My number 8. Okay, let's see. I still have so many on my list. God damn. There is so many good comic book films. So many. My number 8 is going to be, drum roll please, which we don't have a drum roll, Men in Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, because the first 2 Men in Black films are phenomenal. Especially
I like the first one as well.
Yeah, third one, I liked what they did with the third one. But yeah, I still prefer the first 2 a bit more.
First one's the best
but yeah, they're actually based upon comics. The Men in Black franchise.
That,
yeah, so I was just like, sure, I'll add that to the list. But yeah, all the ones with Will Smith in them are good. I haven't watched the one with Chris Hemsworth and what's her name?
It sucks.
Yeah, I gathered that. I watched the trailer for it and I was like,
it was
looks
awful.
bad.
I regret watching it. Yeah. I couldn't tell you anything that happens in it.
But the first 3 though, the first 3 go and watch, because you know that kind of like it shows Will Smith's character. and stuff like that all through the ages. And good old Tommy Lee Jones, even though he wasn't in much of the third one, he was just there, but it was still good. Yeah. Still good.
Josh Brolin was him in the third.
Yes, that was cool seeing Josh Brolin.
It was very cool. He did a very good job of playing a young Tommy Lee Jones. But
he did.
The Men in Black movies, again, I grew up watching them. I love it. I have this second one on VHS, and I think I watched that a shit ton. But yeah, no, the first one's really good.
It is.
Okay. What do I do for my number 8, Barry?
I'm not sure, Clayton. What are you going to do for your number 8? What do you do?
All right. I'm going to grab a more recent one. This movie's from 2015, and it's called Kingsman: The Secret Service.
Nice. Yep.
Probably one of my favorite modern action films. It's just the fight scenes and everything is so well done in this movie. It's really good.
The first one's phenomenal.
We don't talk about the second one.
Yeah, and then they also did like the reboot thing in World War II or whatever with Rasputin.
We don't talk about that one either.
And then apparently they're going to be making a third one.
We're not going to be talking about that one either. But the first one.
The first one, though. Oh my, but yeah, that's just amazing.
So good. So good.
That's like what started what's his name's career, Joel Edgerton's career, wasn't it? Like that was his first ever breakout film, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
If not, it was definitely his biggest early one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Really cool. All right, Barry, what's your number 9?
Ooh, on to the final 2. This is where it gets hard
final 2.
Because I'm like thinking, because of the podcast we had last week about obviously Spider-Man and stuff like that. Should I have a Spider-Man film on here? Should
I was
contemplating about that. And there's so many other films that want to add, and there's one specific film that I definitely want to have onto this list. But I'm not sure like where I want to put it now because there's still so many good films I have left.
Okay.
I am going to go with a non-Marvel or non-DC character or comic. Well, no, he's a character, I suppose. It is going to be Kick-Ass. Yes. I've got a few of the comics. They are phenomenal comics. The first Kick-Ass film is great. Is absolutely great. Apparently, they are doing a reboot of the franchise. No, they are.
They don't need to do that.
They need to because even the movies that they did make wasn't quite what the comic books did. No. So I am looking forward to because the director or something or the writer, he's done something amazing before. I can't remember who it was who signed on to do it.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, he's doing it. I was very like, oh, I'm happy that he's doing it type thing, doing the reboot. And I hope that they do like more of it because that's the thing. The first Kick-Ass movie is cool. Second one sucked ass.
The first one was Kick-Ass. Second one was suck ass. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
So
no, the first one is very good. Very good comedy superhero movie. Okay. Oh boy. Barry, number 9 is always the hardest one because it's like, I don't know what I want to do. I've got one or a couple that I might be saving for last.
Yep.
But this one's hard. I've decided not to pick any Spider-Man movies as well because I picked 10 of them last week.
Yeah.
So we ranked them.
They are on my list though. They are on my list, but I was like, I'm not going to pick them because we talked about them last week.
If you guys want to hear our thoughts on a lot of Spider-Man movies, go check out that podcast, our Across the Spider-Verse episode from last week, because we're not picking Spider-Man, or at least I'm not. I'm going to pick, number 9. I might go wacky and pick something that no one has seen.
No one?
Something
absolutely no one?
Absolutely no one. And it's also not very good, but I kind of like it. It's from 1998, starring David Hasselhoff. It's Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That is wacky, man. Yeah, no one has seen that besides me.
You've seen it?
I've seen this,
man.
Oh my
God.
It's the reason why. Yeah, it is bad. I remember when like they first introduced Samuel L. Jackson. I think when I went to go and see Avengers and stuff like that, I made a joke that no one got. I was like, that should be the Hoff, not Samuel L. Jackson.
Isn't David Hasselhoff? Yeah. David Hasselhoff's also not good in this movie.
No.
He's really bad, to be honest. But yeah, no, I like this movie. It's so stupid 90s Marvel fun, and no one has seen it. It's probably on YouTube. That's probably where you can find it. I don't think it's on Disney Plus.
No, I think I had like an old VHS version or something of it, or I rented a VHS version of it because it was like a kid when I saw it. And yeah, I can remember bits and pieces of it, but yeah, even when I was a kid, I was like, "Well, this is fucking stupid."
I love it. It's great. All right, I'm throwing it back to you, Barry. What's your last final movie?
My final movie that is on this list for the draft pick. There has been so many good ones still, but it was on my top 10 list of most inspirational films of all time. Well, that still doesn't narrow it down, if I'm being honest. But it's going to have to be because I'm constantly getting looked at by him in my room 24/7. Is going to be Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't say that, I feel like my mannequin is going to come alive and actually kill me.
It will strangle you in your sleep. Yeah.
I am terrified of that.
Oh, that's really funny. It's a great movie.
It is a great film. It is.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite superhero movies ever made. It's really well done. It's great. It's one of the best mutant X-Men movies as well. Yes. It's just so good.
Yep. And cannot wait for number 3 to come out. Because it just sounds absolutely wacky what they're trying to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, really well done. Well, should I give my final film?
What is going to be your final film, Mr. Clayton?
Oh, Barry. I'm picking a film from 1981. I don't know if you've heard of it, Barry. It's an animated film. It's called Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal? What? Hang on. I'm gonna Google search this. That's based upon a comic?
Oh, yeah. It's based off of the magazine comic.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're just playing the song to it now, and hopefully we don't get
Oh, yes, we are.
This is how our videos get taken down. Okay. I didn't even know this was based upon a comic.
Yes, it's based on the magazine of the same name. And it's honestly a really well done animated anthology series that's kind of its own movie.
Yeah, I'm like looking at the trailer now.
It's really good. The
John Candy does a voice.
Yeah, man. I tell you, it's so really good. Ivan Reitman was one of the producers on it. And the soundtrack, can I tell you the soundtrack?
The soundtrack has to be really heavy metal, doesn't it?
Oh, man. It's Black Sabbath, Devo, Cheap Trick, Journey, Blue Oyster Cult, Stevie Nicks, and a whole bunch more.
Damn.
Awesome. Including that song that I just played, which was called Heavy Metal by Don Felder.
Yeah.
It's so good. Let me describe the opening of this movie, Barry. You see incredible voiceover from a green meteorite. The bad guy in this is a green meteorite that corrupts people. And it's like embodiment of evil in this meteorite. So basically, the start of this movie, there's a space shuttle floating in space with this really, like, all humans are corruptible and evil, and I'm the embodiment of evil. And then the bottom of the spaceship opens up, and a 60s Chevy falls out with an astronaut in it, and he starts flying down towards Earth, and starts falling down towards Earth while this heavy metal music plays, and it's like full-on hair metal, and he's falling down this... That's the opening of the movie, as he flies a Chevy down to Earth, this astronaut guy. It's so good. You have to watch this movie, Barry. It's an hour and a half.
It sounds wacky. It looks wacky. I'm literally looking at it right now, the trailer that they have.
Yeah. It is
like, what's going on? What's going on here?
It is full of violence. Every female character gets her boobs out. It's very
Now 80s. I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's not the best movie you're ever gonna see, that's for sure. But it's really cool.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'll add it to the list.
You have to watch it. Oh, yeah, that's my number 10.
Oh man, there's so many comic book films, so many of them.
So many of them.
Yeah, well, because I was gonna have as well on my list. I still got like Joker, The Rocketeer, 300, Man of Steel, Dark Knight, The Batman, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Batman Returns, Civil War, The Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one, Surrogates. I don't know if you've ever seen that film with Bruce Willis.
No.
Yeah, it's a pretty like kind of wacky type of film. It's like sci-fi film. It's pretty holds up. But yeah, I found out that that was based on a comic, and also Oblivion, the one with Tom Cruise, where it's like multiple Tom Cruises. That's also based upon a comic. I was like, wow.
Didn't like that one though. Didn't like that movie. It's kind of meh.
And then also as well because on the 16th, so the end of this week, Extraction 2 comes out, but the first Extraction film is based upon a comic too. So
it is.
Oh, It is.
Okay. I didn't know that either.
No,
that's cool.
That's what I also found out today. I was like, damn, that's a comic. So
you always learn something new on a We Talk Film episode. We're learning. We're an educational podcast.
Clayton, are we learning? Are we learning? Did we learn things?
I taught you guys about heavy metal today. That's basically learning.
That's basically learning. That's all you need to know, kids. That's all you need to know. Just go and watch heavy metal.
It's gonna change you.
It's gonna change you
in some way. Oh boy, yes. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of another episode.
The end of another episode. Oh wow.
Boy. Yeah, it's always
basically talked over an hour just about comics. Nice.
Comic books.
Could go on forever.
Movies.
Could go on forever, but we don't have the time. So
just like the MCU. We'll be back with another one next week.
We'll be back next time on We Talk Film.
The legendary Clay and Barry will return. All right, let's roll the music. Let's get out of here.
Let's roll the music and let's go.
Go watch heavy metal. Here we go.
Yeah. What a podcast.
So good.
What a podcast. See, I told you we could do it. We can talk about an hour of nonsense.
I knew we could. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can push it out of our ass for hours.
Oh,
we can talk about this for years.
I could talk about a single film for years if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, look at our list, bro.
Yeah.
You beat me in the list, but I got in the 90s Nick Fury movie, so I really went.
Well, that's the thing, because I was just like, should I go more wacky with it? I'm trying to think of ones that people haven't necessarily seen, because I was thinking of like adding The Crow as well on there.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that, because it's just like, we could talk about that. But yeah, like I didn't know Surrogates was a comic book. I was like, oh, that might be interesting, because no one saw that film. And it's a pretty like interesting like sci-fi type film. It's basically like in the near future, instead of using our own bodies, we use basically like these robot versions that look like us, except like what we want them to look like.
Oh.
So like better versions of us, and we just like stay at home all the time while they go out, and we're like in little pods and we still think and everything. But basically Bruce Willis's one is like a younger version of him. So it looks kind of weird because it's only like 10 years old, this film.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's like a young Bruce Willis.
Wants to look like Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And basically like his one gets destroyed because there's like this device that gets made that basically if you get hit by it in your robot form, you die in real life. So his one gets hit, but somehow he manages not to die. But then he starts to like do like investigation in his real body, and people are like, you shouldn't be doing that, man. So they try to give him like a fake body of like a different person as well, and he's like, I don't like it. I want to be me type thing still. But then he ends up like finding that it was all like a master system thing, and the people behind it were actually robots. And then he disconnects the entire system, and so everyone has to be back in their real bodies at the end.
Oh, so it's kind of Matrix-y?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of cool.
Because I think it came out the same year like that. I don't know if you ever watched that Gerard Butler Gamer film.
I've heard of it, but I didn't think it was
that is a wacky film, man.
Yeah.
Gerard Butler gets controlled by a teenage student who's very good at FPS shooters, and then he goes into real world and breaks free, and then his wife is a mannequin thing for a big fat guy and gets her to do stuff, and yeah, that's a wacky film.
Yeah,
can't remember how that ended. I know Gerard Butler saved the day or something like that. They ended up like being, same type of thing. They found the guy in control of it all and being like, "You have my daughter. I kill you now."
Yeah, funky.
Yeah, funky.
All right, I have to press produce, so you're not going to be able to hear me for about 2 seconds before I rejoin, so I can download the soundboard.
All right.
There we go. Now I can download this.
You can download it. And welcome to the BTS version of the WTF podcast. That's only exclusive on our YouTube page whenever that gets made. I'm still in the process of doing that all.
He's doing a thing?
I'm doing a thing. God. We're doing a thing still. I'm still recording, man.
Hey.
This is the exclusive content that you get when you listen exclusively to the YouTube video side of it. Look at that.
Wait, we're doing a podcast?
We're doing a podcast?
Who's going to play me?
Who's going to play me?
I know. You should get Ryan Gosling.
He's dead.
What? When? On the set of Barbie, they painted him pink. It was like lead paint. It was like Wizard of Oz.
He drowned in pink paint. That's where it all went.
My God. Yeah. So yeah, we're in the process of setting up YouTube things.
Yeah.
So
hopefully, well, obviously, by the time people are listening to this, because this is episode 15, we'll be well into, obviously, of having YouTube stuff set up by the time you're listening to this, depending on how we release them. If we're going to do it weekly again and we're just going to be a bit behind. I might just like catch all up and do like 2 a week or something like that. And then we're just like caught up on all things, enough. But just I need to get that sorted. I need to get my butt into gear. But we've got holidays soon, you and I. We're taking a bit of break from TAFE, so I'm gonna have time then. So
true. Man, and a good time for holidays because a shit ton of movies are coming out. Oh boy!
Oh yeah. And I just got my new sound system yesterday, so I've been watching the hell out of movies and everything sounds cool.
Metal on it. Heavy metal's gonna go fire on that. You can find it.
Watched one of my favorite films of this year again on it. I watched Creed 3 on it.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah. You could literally hear the sweat dripping onto the floor with my sound system. I was like, what? This is a new experience. Because it's like 360 audio now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, full spatial. Nice.
And like from the roof as well. So it is trippy, man. It is trippy. Is the audio sounding good for the podcast? I mean, the levels tonight on my side anyway, actually are like a lot more better than what we have been.
That's good.
Even on Zencast, I realized you and I are like level now with audio. Like it's the exact same. That's because we've got the exact same microphones now. Yay, we're professional.
Yay!
So, but you do sound, I can definitely hear it. Like as soon as you started talking, I was like, it sounds so much more better now. It's like, yes.
No, the levels are really good.
Yeah.
I still have to boost mine by a couple decibels.
Yep.
But it's sounding on par with yours. Soundbar's good. It's not picking up as much background noise as my old microphone was as well, which was another big problem.
Yep.
This one's crisp, clean, just vocals, and then this probably helps a bit too.
Oh yeah.
But yes.
Well, I would hope so. Being a proper professional podcast microphone.
We are professionals, yes.
We are professionals now. Well, that's the thing, because like that microphone that I gave you, like I got that when I was doing my own podcast back in the day when we were sponsored by like Audio Technica. Those are the good old days, man. When I used to get like tens of thousands of views on my YouTube videos, and then I just gave it all up and privatized them all. Now I just make shitty Let's Plays from like 5 years ago.
I was enjoying. I was watching your Ark Fjordur playthrough. That was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, because that was a recent. That was last year, beginning of last year. So
yeah, I was enjoying that one. That was pretty cool. That was put together quite well.
If you liked that one, you're probably going to love. There's one upcoming of the Conan Exiles game.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we did a Let's Play of that. Same guy, Chad, and myself. When that first came. Yeah, Chad's an amazing guy. Chad's amazing. Well, he is the, I suppose, co-creator of Gamers Regret, and basically in everything I still record these days. I want to get more people involved. I need more people. But yeah, basically,
I'll jump on Age of Empires with you or something.
Yeah, Conan Exiles. We did it when it first came out, which is one of the ones I've like redone, which is going to be coming out soon. Him and I did. What we did for that series, it's only 12 episodes. We basically were like, oh, let's try and do more role playing point of view when we played the game. It is still probably my third favorite Let's Play I've ever recorded because of what we did and everything for it. Number one though is I'm still trying to find a way to do it justice, because basically, Chad and I, we basically for a very old video game called Rune. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. It's like,
I have. Yes,
we actually did. He came over to my house every weekend, and we actually did a sit down together, playing the game actually in person with one another. And that is by far the best thing or best Let's Play I have ever recorded. Even he says that to this day. We go back because I still have the footage, and he's still got some of the footage as well. I'm trying to in the process of remastering and trying to do a proper justice to it, like creating proper intros and everything like that. Is still, I am definitely at my most funniest in that, because sometimes he was playing. So I was just making up jokes when he was playing type thing. And it was so good. And then,
hell yeah.
And we filmed that almost 3 years ago now.
That's sick.
That's really 4 years ago. Shit. Yeah, so.
Oh, so cool.
No, but like
nearly exported.
For Gamers Regret, by the way, YouTube people, go and check out my YouTube channel, Gamers Regret. We regret.
I forgot we're still recording.
We're still recording.
Good thing I didn't say anything incriminating.
Nah, that's all right. I would probably cut it out anyway when I go back and listen to it all. I get used to editing.
Yeah, Barry, cut this out. Cut this out.
The N word.
Cut it out. You couldn't hurt.
Can't say that on YouTube.
Disney will edit it out. Disney will censor it.
Yep. But yes,
master 50 years later.
I might get Age of Empires, and if you want to do a Let's Play with me, I would be more than happy to, because
Age of Empires 2 HD edition.
Oh yeah.
No, I just have. I can't remember which one I have.
Let me know anyway. Let me know what games you can play, because over the break anyway.
Old as fuck.
Yeah. I'll be more than happy to try and record new Let's Plays as much as I can, because the Death Stranding series that I recorded over a year ago now is coming to an end within the next few weeks. I just looked at the scheduling for everything actually this morning, and I need to catch up on my editing a bit, because it was just like, oh, that's all done. Well, I've got videos done. I just haven't uploaded them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be doing that over the break, as well as rescheduling all that for the rest of the year. And yeah, I want to play more video games, man. I want to get into it. I want to finish Hogwarts Legacy. I haven't finished that.
Oh yeah, my brother just started playing that, and it looks really good. But we should play OG Battlefront 2.
OG Battlefront 2.
Nice. 2005.
2005. Yeah, I've got that. I've got that.
I have that on Steam. I'll have to have a look what I've got on Steam. Because
that's right. Let me know, man. Let me know any more specifically co-op games that have maybe a story to it a bit as well, so they can actually play properly, like a full story, because that always works better for Let's Plays.
Borderlands 2. I got that on Epic. Yeah, man.
They're saying that though. It's kind of funny. We'll say, oh yeah, we'll do all this. The way my schedule works these days for videos and stuff like that has to be 2 years in advance, man.
And then maybe it'll get uploaded in 2 years.
Yeah, maybe it'll get uploaded in 2 years.